Good morning and welcome back to the Tennessee Valley This Morning. Caught me making notes.
Yeah,
Sometimes
take a little note.
the brain just doesn't kick in like it should as quickly, so you have to write things down when you get to be my age. I'm at least 39 now.
At least.
And so we have to write things down. 6:48, welcome back, and thank you for joining us this morning on the Tennessee Valley This Morning. I'm Dan Howell. Roxanne Varlack is my Varlack Corbett.
Yes.
See, I knew her when she was a Varlack. Roxanne Varlack Corbett is the co-host, and always good to see her. And we have a very special guest today. Kathy Baggerly is here, and we're just excited about what you've got going on this summer. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Tell us what Summer Splash is.
Summer Splash is a...
I tell you, it sounds like a nice, cool
Water
drink. You know, you see this thing on the grocery shelf, it says Splash. That's what I thought of when I saw that, but it sounds like fun.
It is a free sports and arts day camp for the children of Cleveland and Bradley
Well, that's
County.
the key
Yes.
word right there.
Yeah,
free. Free for, and are there age limits in there?
From completed kindergarten through completed 5th grade.
Oh, great. So that takes in a pretty good sized group.
Yes.
Well, tell us all about Summer Splash.
Well, it will begin next Monday, June 13th, and it'll go through the 17th. It's from 9 to 12 daily. As I said, it is a free sports and arts camp for children in this area. And they'll be going through a track each day of the sports that they have chosen.
Okay.
In arts.
Give us an example when you say sports and art. What
There's weird science, art projects, then there's volleyball, kickball, ultimate frisbee, geocaching, football, basketball, soccer. There's actually 12 sports they can choose from.
Wow.
Oh, wow. That is exciting.
You got some kids or grandkids
Oh,
in
yes,
this?
I do.
Do you? Yeah. Are they excited about it?
Oh, they'll have a great time, yes.
That's
it's
great.
their first time to participate, too.
Well, how did this come about? Is this the first annual? Or?
This is our third Summer Splash camp.
Oh.
It began 3 years ago. Some of the local children's pastors, we began a network, the Cleveland Children's Ministries Network, and we just got together and we decided we wanted to do something for the children of our community, a quality camp that didn't cost them anything.
Yeah.
So it started 3 years ago. This will be our third camp.
Wow. So
and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. The first year we had around 450 kids. Last year we had a little over 800, and this year we're registered at 1,000.
Oh,
wow.
That's
a big camp.
huge. That's bigger than some schools.
Yes.
Twice as big as some schools,
Exciting.
especially the elementary and middle schools. That's huge. So it takes a huge staff to
accommodate all those kids.
Wow. How do you do that?
A lot of prayer and a lot of recruiting. But as I said, there's a network of children's ministers, and we just pull together and recruit and bring in volunteers.
So this is a result of cooperation between churches. So it's an interdenominational
Absolutely.
Event.
effort. Yeah.
Right.
Wow, that's great. Well, whose brainchild was this?
Again, it was the Cleveland Children's Ministries Network. We just
Okay.
came together
Okay.
and decided we wanted to do this.
Okay. Well, tell us about that network. I have to admit, I've not heard about the network. So tell us about that network and what its purpose is.
Well, the network began a few months before we decided to have the camp. Actually, the children's pastor at Living Word Church just started making some calls to local children's ministers and said, you know, we're all doing the same thing. Let's get together and
combine your efforts.
And combine our efforts. And so we started with, I think our first meeting we had about 5 children's pastors that came together. And in no time we've grown to about, I don't know, 20, 25 churches that are involved. So.
Now you yourself are a children's pastor, is that correct?
I am at the Peerless Road Church.
Peerless Road Church,
Yes.
there at Peerless and Raider Drive.
Exactly, yes.
And so you're deeply involved in this network. This is fascinating. We have so many examples of cooperation between
in our community,
churches and organizations and relief agencies, and this is just another example that just kind of flies below the radar, but people do what they do, and it has great results. You're expecting over 1,000 this year.
Wow.
Yes.
And if children want to get involved, how do they register? And
That's a good question. Registration will close tonight at midnight. So if they want to be involved, you need to do it today before midnight tonight, because our registration is going to have to close down because our numbers are so high.
Yeah. So today's the day. If you've got children and they're wanting something to do, or you want something for them to do this summer, get them out of the house. Register today. Now, how do they go about registering?
They go to
Kathy?
clevelandchildren.org.
Oh, there is a website.
Oh, okay, great.
clevelandchildren.org,
Okay.
and it'll direct them to the Summer Splash page,
Okay.
and they can register.
There's a link.
There is a link.
And so they can register online. There's no charge.
There is no charge. It's all free.
And the location of
Yes,
the
of the
camp.
events.
The location is at Westwood Baptist Church.
Okay, that's out on 60 Highway.
It's off of Georgetown.
Yeah, yeah. 60, that, well, I call it 60 Highway, but that's Georgetown Road.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
it goes to Georgetown, but I think the state calls it 60 Highway.
Highway.
Well, that's a great facility, so I would think they would have the ability to accommodate about 1,000 kids out there. Big
Yes,
facility.
this is a new location for us. The first 2 years that we had Summer Splash, we were at the old Rolling Hills Golf Club,
Yeah,
and we've just outgrown the parking lot there and the
sure.
and getting the traffic in, everyone in the morning. So
Yeah,
Westwood's
looks
opened
like
up their
the-
doors, and
Looks like
We're-
there'll be plenty of parking
Yes,
there, and
yes.
they've got room and space for the kids to run, and that's great. Well, you mentioned the arts, so there sounds like there's something for every child, and as those of us who've raised kids, we know that not every child is the same. Some interested in sports, some are interested in reading, some are interested in video games, some are
Right.
interested in painting, like my
Lots of
granddaughters.
variety.
So talk about some of the variety that's available there, Kathy.
yeah, the first year that we did it, I had the camp, we only offered sports, and we felt like we just needed to broaden that because, as you say, children are very different, and the kids were like, we want to do art, we want to do something different. So we did add in the element last year of art, where the children get to create something during the week. This year, I believe they're going to be working on some art that'll be displayed around town in different
Oh,
locations,
good.
maybe at 5 Points Museum and,
Yeah.
and around. And then there's a science aspect as well. Actually, science was one of our first tracks to fill up completely.
Yeah.
So
That's interesting.
Yes.
That kids would be interested in that track. So they can sign up online at clevelandchildren.org, and then they can choose their track there online.
they do.
Whatever their special interest is.
Yes.
They just say, "Well, I want to go to this part of the camp." That is great. And what are the hours?
From 9 a.m. to 12.
9 to 12. So that's a half day that mom can get out on her own and have
That's for sure.
You're looking forward to that.
Oh,
yes. I can see that. That's really exciting and great dedication on the part of these youth leaders or children's leaders
Yes,
who
we're taking care of
dedicate so much time to do this. Wow, what a great idea this
event.
is. Now, will there be, it's going to be held at the church, but will there be like field trips during the day, or is it all right there?
All at Westwood Baptist Church.
Okay.
And lunch will be provided as well.
Oh,
that.
good.
Good, that's fun.
That is great. Well, it's happening
Beginning Monday.
beginning Monday. So that's coming up quick, and school is out. It's time to get them involved in other things. And the website again, Kathy?
clevelandchildren.org.
clevelandchildren.org. So check that out and get your child signed up. And again, the age limit is kindergarten, out of kindergarten, or going into kindergarten?
If you have completed kindergarten
Okay.
through the 5th grade.
Okay. You're ready for the first grade.
Yes.
If you're ready for the first grade through the 5th grade, then your child is eligible. Boys and girls, open to everybody, and there's no charge. Can't beat the price. I love
And
that.
registration ends at midnight tonight. So get on that
tonight.
website and get registered.
Check it out. Well, thanks so much. I'm glad to know about this, and I'm sure there'll be some viewers out there who are excited to know about this, and it's free, and wow, what a great thing for
Free's
kids. in the
always
summer.
great.
Yeah, it is. And to know they're in
it's
good
good.
hands, and
Yes.
people who really love
Right.
children and who are involved in
Work
children's
together.
ministries, and they're working together. Good example of Cleveland and Bradley
Pulling
County
together,
pulling
yes.
together. How many churches are involved in this? I didn't ask you that.
I believe about 20.
Really?
churches are involved.
That is fantastic.
Fantastic.
Wow, that's great. Well, thank you, Kathy. Kathy Bagley is children's minister at Peerless Road Church. They're at Peerless Road and Raider
Raider
Drive.
Drive.
Had to pull up that map in my brain to figure it out. Appreciate you coming by. Wish you great
Yes.
success
Oh, thank
on
you.
this camp.
forward to it,
Going
definitely.
to be a lot of fun for these kids. It's 6:58. We're going to take a quick break, come back with some headline news, and then talk to Lou Patton and find out what's going on with the new Cleveland Municipal Airport. That's all coming up in just a moment. Stay with us.
Kyle Dodge Chrysler Jeep, located at 511 South Lee Highway in Cleveland, is your #1 Dodge, Chrysler, and Jeep dealer in this area. Stop by and see the brand new 2011 Chrysler 200. The 200 is essentially a new nameplate with a significant facelift to the outgoing 2010 Chrysler Sebring. A beautiful vehicle at an unbeatable price. And while you're there, check out the all-new Jeep Grand Cherokee and the newly designed Dodge Durango. Redesigned, revamped, and reinvigorated. Yes, the Dodge Durango is back, bigger and better than ever. Kyle Dodge Chrysler Jeep offers a complete parts and service department with qualified service technicians to fix and repair your vehicle. So for your next brand new or pre-owned vehicle, make it Kyle Dodge Chrysler Jeep, located at 511 South Lee Highway in Cleveland.
Volunteer Ridipest LLC has been serving Cleveland and the surrounding areas for over 40 years. Their qualified, experienced technicians are trained in all the latest techniques to keep your home pest-free. Volunteer Ridipest LLC offers Mosquito Guard, which keeps mosquitoes out of your yard and out of your life. Their monthly and quarterly treatments are backed by their 100% money-back guarantee. For all your pest removal needs, call Volunteer Ridipest LLC today at 423-472-7736.
I'm Dr. James Markham, host of the television program Heart of Health, seen right here on WTNB television, Thursday at 7 o'clock, Friday at 8 a.m., or Sunday at 3:30 p.m.
I'm Kathy Guy with Landmark Insurance Brokerage. Call us today for all your personal insurance needs. 28 years in the insurance business, I have the solutions and pricing you are looking for. At Landmark Insurance Brokerage, we've got you covered.
And a special thanks to Kathy Bagley for coming by and telling us about Summer Splash. I know a lot of children are going to be excited about signing up for that program. And just log on again to that website. It's at clevelandchildren.org, I believe is what she said. Headline news: Bradley County Mayor Gary Davis presented his proposed budget for the new fiscal year to the County Commission last night. The total proposed budget, which includes schools and the general fund, is $126 million for the county, which is $6.4 million higher than last year. So that shows that there are signs of economic recovery going on. The proposed budget projects slight gains in revenue and contains increases for 6 departments, including the Sheriff's Department and Justice Center. The county schools will see an increase of $1.8 million, with more than half of that coming from the State Education Fund. Mayor Davis also proposed a 1.6% salary increase for all full-time county employees. That will be their first in 3 years. Bradley County Schools will offer classes next year from international programs with the goal of allowing students to receive an internationally recognized high school diploma in these programs. The Cambridge International Program will be implemented at Bradley Central High, and the International Baccalaureate Program will be offered at Walker Valley. School officials say the Cambridge system has tougher requirements than the state of Tennessee and will offer a new challenge to advanced students. A small learning communities grant is making the transition to high school much easier for a selected group of rising freshmen. The Summer Bridge is a 2-week program at Bradley Central and Walker Valley High for a group of specially selected 8th grade students. The program gives the students a chance to get to know the school, meet future teachers, and know what to expect next year. The man who drowned during a rafting trip on the Ocoee River has been identified. He is 36-year-old Jay McElroy of Arlington, Tennessee. TWRA officials say McElroy was part of a rafting trip on the Ocoee when the raft capsized. 5 other passengers and the guide made it to safety. McElroy was equipped with a helmet and a life vest. An autopsy has been scheduled. That's your headline news. I want to tell you about one thing, though. A traveling exhibit focused on the Tennessee civil rights movement half-century ago is at the Museum Center at 5 Points. It's going on right now. It'll be continuing through July 20th. It's called We Shall Not Be Moved, the 51st anniversary of Tennessee's civil rights sit-ins. And it's from the Tennessee State Museum. So check that out. Put that on your agenda to go down and see that brand new exhibit at the Museum Center at 5 Points. Let's look at your forecast. Not much to tell you about. It's just going to be hot and sunny. That's about it. Hot and sunny. Mostly sunny today, mostly sunny tomorrow, and Thursday highs in the low to mid 90s and lows in the mid to upper 60s, and right now it's 70 degrees. And we are back. See, told you, we are back. It's just like that, magic. 7:03, and we are here with Mr. Lou Patton, a familiar face and name to many, many people in Bradley County, and we're glad to have you with us, Lou.
Well, thank you, Dan. Appreciate it.
Good morning.
It's great to have you here. Lou is on the Airport Authority, and before we get into that conversation, I have to wish a couple of people a happy birthday. You probably know some of these people, Lou. You know Ginger Gobble at Gobble Automotive.
Yes.
And,
Happy birthday.
She's probably baking chocolate chip cookies for all their customers right now at Gobble Automotive. And she said come by, and she'd also have some Mayfield ice cream to go along with those cookies. So you got to go by today and wish Ginger Gobble a happy birthday at Gobble Automotive. She's such a sweet lady. Also, the Reverend Bill Griffith is having a birthday today. And wish Bill the very best. He's had some health problems in the last couple of years, and we certainly do hope he's doing well. So, happy birthday to all of them. But we're here to talk about
and happy birthday to my sister Edie, whose birthday was Sunday, and my sister Janie, whose birthday is tomorrow.
Oh, great! So,
wow.
Belated and future birthdays wishes to Lou's family there. We have a newspaper here, and during the break, Lou walked over and he looked at that newspaper and he said, "That's my daughter's house." Well, what's left of it.
Right, the
hold
special
that up
edition
there. If you've seen this special edition of the Cleveland Daily Banner, it came out, I believe, was it last Friday, Lou?
Yes.
I believe it was. A special edition of the Banner, and it was printed in order to capsulize
all of the
a lot of the
different things
stories
that happened.
and pictures that happened, and this
disaster.
picture on the front page is around the Archer Lane area,
Right,
and
it's right here.
it's
You
just
can see
complete
that.
devastation. And Lou walked over and said, "That's my daughter's house right there on the
here in the
corner, what's left of it." And you know, this storm touched so many lives. You know, even though I didn't get hit personally, it touched a lot of lives, didn't it, Lou? People who have family and friends.
I mean, just tremendous tragedy throughout the county. And, you know, I don't think people outside of Bradley County know how bad it was here in Bradley County, because I was talking to some folks in Nashville a couple of weeks ago, and they said, "Oh, do y'all had storms?" And I said, "Yeah, we had 5 tornadoes and had 9 people killed, and just tremendous devastation." So, you know, there was so much media focus on Alabama and then on in the area on Ringgold and North Georgia, who, you know, they certainly had their just devastation there, but we certainly had it here in Bradley County as well, and people outside the area, I don't believe, are as aware as
You're exactly right. That's been a struggle getting the word out, because when you get the word out, that's when the relief supplies come in, and if they don't know about your devastation, the relief supplies don't show up. So that's been one of the challenges from the EMA and the local county government, is getting the word out to the media that, hey, we're hit hardest of any county in the state of Tennessee.
Yeah, absolutely.
We really are, and we've got you know, hundreds and hundreds of families who have no home anymore. So I certainly hope your daughter is doing okay, she and her family. And
thank you.
Have they
Fortunately,
found,
by the grace of God, they were safe, because, you know, it took their house apart, and the house next door was totally gone. So
wow.
Now, were they in the home when
they were in the home? Yeah, they were in
hit?
the home right when the storm hit, in an interior closet, fortunately.
Oh,
so.
that
Wow.
was that's the place to be. So everything around them looked like was demolished from
that whole street
picture.
is just
yeah. William Wright took that picture, and that was on the front page of the Banner a couple of weeks prior to the special edition, and I saw that and called William and asked him if I could get a copy of the picture. So
that is amazing. And if you want to purchase one of these newspapers, by the way, they're $1 a piece, or whatever you want to donate, and all the funds go to the disaster relief effort.
Right.
And the Banner did a marvelous job of cataloging this and putting it all together. And I think Bowater donated the newsprint to the paper
for the edition. Yes.
Yeah, so it was a collaborative effort, and it's certainly for a good cause. And you know, we look back at this 20 years from now and say, wow. That was quite
and
a
it's
time.
a long-term recovery effort for these folks that have lost their homes.
It certainly is.
Find places to live and get their lives back on track.
Well, speaking of long-term, Lou, I came to Cleveland, Bradley County I've been here 40 years at least. And back when I came here, I remember talking about a new airport. And a lot of the old timers said, well, it'll never happen. We got an airport and we don't need another airport. And it's been 40 years later. and it's been a long struggle, hasn't it?
It has been. It's been a long struggle. In fact, a couple of years ago, before we got as far as we are, I was speaking to groups about the airport and saying that, you know, we've been trying to get a new airport for 30 years, and a gentleman who came in with one of the local manufacturing facilities said, well, I came here in '68 and I was asked to sign a petition for a new airport. I said, I'll start using 40 years then.
Well, it was definitely 40 years, because
Wow.
I came here in '71, I believe. And so that would be 40 years ago.
Yeah.
And that's when I first heard about the need for the airport. And once I flew into the old Hardwick Field Airport, I understood
The need for the new
need
airport.
for a new airport. When you've got a runway with a big dip in it like that, you're like, well, yeah, we might need a new airport. And when the governor of your state says, I don't want to fly into that airport again,
I know it.
the governor at that time
Changes
said,
need to be made.
then it's time to do something different. But you had a lot of things to overcome. A lot of mindset. People think that a local airport is strictly for the rich. You know, it's a playground for the rich and famous. A lot of things like that you had to overcome. Talk about that, and the airport serves a much broader purpose, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, we talk about the importance of jobs in the community, and of course Cleveland and Bradley County have certainly been successful in getting expansions here, and then new industry coming here as well. And we think part of that is because we're building a new airport. But it's so important to industry, because nowadays company presidents and company executives, if they want to go visit several plants in their company in a short period of time, they want to have airports that are close, they can get in and out. They don't want to have to deal with large commercial airports where there's commercial traffic. Yes, so it's really critical for industrial development. Lee University is very excited about this. Paul Kahn has been a big supporter of the airport and has been encouraging us for the new airport, because he wants his donors to be able to get in and visit the university quickly.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is going to have a good impact on our community.
It really is. It really is. And Hardwick Field served its purpose, but it's way past time. It's outdated, and it's actually unsafe for pretty large planes to come in.
And a lot of people think that the airport, when you talk about an airport, is just something for rich people who have airplanes to use, and it makes it convenient for them. But the airport has an economic element to it as well for the local community. It provides jobs. What about the tax base that it provides, Lou?
It provides a large tax base because if we get larger, more expensive aircraft here, then that will be part of the property tax, that personal property tax that corporations pay, and that will increase the tax rolls here in Cleveland and Bradley County as well.
And if it's based here in Bradley County, if that plane is based here, then that becomes part of the tax rolls.
Yes, that's right.
So the potential of substantially increasing the tax base from the airport is there, isn't it?
Right, and those planes, some of them are not based here now, and we've got several folks and companies who have indicated that they will locate here at the new airport when the airport is complete. Really? Yes.
So we're going to be able to see an explosive growth once everything is finalized out there.
Yes.
I purposely stayed away from out there, because when you get in a construction area, you might get run over. But I drove out there a while back. The fence was up. The new, I call it the Speedway.
That's right.
is in. And what road is that? I forget.
That's Tasso Road.
Road.
That was part of Phase 1. We had 4 things to do in Phase 1. It was to build a new Tasso Road, to move the power lines, move the water lines, and then move Shady Valley Creek.
Right. Okay. That was a mitigation that had to be done.
Right. Had to be moved, and it built a huge culvert over the creek. And in fact, the engineers and the Wright brothers, who's the contractor, did such a fine job that they and the airport authority got an environmental award.
Really?
For the quality of the work, and it really is. They did an outstanding job on that.
That is fantastic. Well, I was out there, it's been about a month ago, and really was impressed with what was happening. And big machines, equipment, moving dirt, and all kinds of things. So tell us where we are now. We've come a long way. A lot of not landscaping, but excavation had to be done.
Right. What I mentioned was Phase 1. Now, we're in Phase 2 now. At our last meeting, our consultants told us we're 70% complete with Phase 2, which is basically moving all that dirt. It's moving 2.2 million cubic yards of dirt.
Oh my goodness.
Where do you put all that?
Well, actually, they're moving it and building the base for the runway and for the taxiway.
For the taxiway,
Yeah,
so they're just
yeah,
kind
so
of flattening that area.
They're flattening it out. There's a high area and a lower area, and they're having to flatten that part out and make it a nice long, little over a mile runway.
Really, a mile runway, so you could just about land Air Force One there. Then.
Well, no, it's not that large. So.
Not that large, but some large planes.
Some large, yeah, but it's not commercial. That's one of the concerns that people had when we were, you know, we were discussing about building the airport, and they brought a lot of statistics, and I said, well, where did you get those statistics? And they said, well, they're from the DWF, which is Dallas-Fort Worth, which is one of the largest airports in the country. I said, no, this is going to be what's called a general aviation airport, which will be for private pilots, for company planes, business planes, but no commercial.
That's a huge difference. It's apple and oranges.
It is. It's apples and oranges, absolutely.
Yeah, that's great. We're going to take a quick break and come back and talk some more with Lou. I want to find out what Phase 3 is going to look like and just the whole future of this airport. But we'll be back in just a moment with Lou Patton with the Airport Authority. Stay with us.
I'm Byron Winters with Landmark Insurance Brokerage. Contact me for all of your business insurance needs. From general liability to workers' comp, commercial auto, and business umbrellas, Landmark Insurance has you covered.
I'm Dr. James Markham, host of the television program Heart of Health, seen right here on WTNB television, Thursday at 7 o'clock, Friday at 8 a.m., or Sunday at 3:30 p.m.
Volunteer Ridipest LLC has been serving Cleveland and the surrounding areas for over 40 years. Their qualified, experienced technicians are trained in all the latest techniques to keep your home pest-free. Volunteer Ridipest LLC offers Mosquito Guard, which keeps mosquitoes out of your yard and out of your life. Their monthly and quarterly treatments are backed by their 100% money-back guarantee. For all your pest removal needs, call Volunteer Ridipest LLC today at 423-472-7736.
Kyle Dodge Chrysler Jeep, located at 511 South Lee Highway in Cleveland, is your #1 Dodge Chrysler and Jeep dealer in this area. Stop by and see the brand new 2011 Chrysler 200. The 200 is essentially a new nameplate with a significant facelift to the outgoing 2010 Chrysler Sebring. A beautiful vehicle at an unbeatable price. And while you're there, check out the all-new Jeep Grand Cherokee and the newly designed Dodge Durango. Redesigned, revamped, and reinvigorated. Yes, the Dodge Durango is back, bigger and better than ever. Kyle Dodge Chrysler Jeep offers a complete parts and service department with qualified service technicians to fix and repair your vehicle. So for your next brand new or pre-owned vehicle, make it Kyle Dodge Chrysler Jeep, located at 511 South Lee Highway in Cleveland.
And we're back. You're watching the Tennessee Valley this morning. Dan Howell with Roxanne Corbett.
Good morning.
And we're glad that she's here today. We're talking to Lou Patton. Everybody knows Lou Patton. He's been around Bradley County and Cleveland. I guess you were born and raised here.
I was born and raised here. That's right. That's right.
Lou served for a while in the state senate and a local businessman, and he's on the Airport Authority for the city of Cleveland, and it looks like things are really getting off the ground. No pun intended.
That's right.
They got some good progress.
But you're into 70% complete on Phase 2 of the airport, we found out. And when Phase 2 is over, when will you know that Phase 2 is done? I
guess when they've smoothed all that dirt out. So
okay.
In fact, our chairman Lynn DeVault went to the Tennessee Aeronautics Commission last month, and we got approval for the engineering and design funds for Phase 3.
Okay.
So that will be designing and the engineering work on the runway, and then we will also have a parallel taxiway, which will be very nice.
Okay. And then part of Phase 3, I suppose, is also the terminal.
Yes. Actually, the terminal will be, I guess, Phase 3.5 or so.
Okay.
But we are working on. We've got a committee set up to get a new terminal building, and we've had a meeting, and we've got our next meeting scheduled this week. So.
And the airport, the runway you mentioned is 5,500 feet. It's a mile long. Compare that to the current
airport is 3,300 feet. So,
so quite a difference.
Yes, and as you mentioned, there's a hump in the middle of the current airport runway, and I've been told if a plane's at one end and a plane's at the other end, that they can't see each other. So that's really not a very good situation.
Yeah, that's kind of dangerous. You want to be able to see what's ahead of you when you're taking off. But the new airport is scheduled to open in about a year or so?
Well, yeah, at the earliest we think it'll be late fall of 2012, and if we do that, we will be ahead of schedule. So that we're keeping our fingers crossed for the funding and the construction.
And everything to go as planned.
Yeah, everything to go as planned. So.
It seems that anytime there is something new like this built, there's always concerns from the community, and rightfully so. We understand the citizens' concerns. But it seems the airport authority has taken extra steps to meet those concerns and to assure your neighbors out there that it's not going to be a disruptive influence in their lives. Talk about that.
Well, you know, as I mentioned earlier, that some people were comparing it to large commercial airports, which this is not that at all. And you know, a lot of communities have airports that have neighborhoods right close to theirs. Y'all probably familiar with John Travolta has his home and a hangar at his home right beside his local airport, so he can actually get in his airplane at his house and take off from his house.
Well, a good example would be the current airport. It's adjacent, isn't it, right between two major subdivisions out there?
Yes, and you know, neither Anatole nor Kingwood Estates were built. They were both built after the airport, so the airport was already in place, and you've got two very nice subdivisions right there around it. So we think that once the airport is in operation, that the fears will be allayed that were, you know, the concerns that were raised. So.
Yeah, hopefully that'll be true. Now, the airport authority, a lot of people don't know what the airport authority is, but the airport authority is the one actually charged, and I guess the airport legally actually belongs to the authority. Is that correct?
Yes, under Tennessee law, there's a municipal airport authority and a regional airport authority. And what the city council did, they formed the airport authority, municipal airport authority, under the Tennessee Code, and put us in charge of building a new airport, either expanding Hardwick Field, which didn't turn out to be practical, or building a new airport, which we're doing. So, you know, we have certain responsibilities and certain authorities under the Tennessee Code of how we're able to operate.
Kind of govern how you do things.
Right,
to build.
right.
Okay.
And the airport authority itself is appointed by the city council?
By the city council, yes. There are 5 members. Linda Vault's chairman, Mike McCoy vice chairman, I'm secretary treasurer, there's Leroy Reimer, and Viral Norwood. So
okay.
5 of us.
Well, it's been probably almost a full-time job, a volunteer job, but almost a full-time job in addition to your regular job.
That's right.
The authority, from what I can tell, has done a good job, and you've certainly taken it serious. But I noticed recently, a few weeks ago, you were asking for input from the public, especially pilots, with regard to the terminal and the makeup and the building of the terminal. How's that going?
Yeah, and actually the terminal, the airport terminology, the terminal is really all the ground area where the hangars and the terminal building are located. So since we have a number of pilots who have their aircraft based here now, we wanted to get their input on how, you know, what they would like to see at the new airport, the layout of the hangars and the terminal building, and some of the amenities that would be provided. So we had a good meeting there. We're going to have another meeting. It hasn't been scheduled yet, but to kind of follow up with them, because we want this to be a smooth transition for those folks who will be moving their aircraft from the old airport to the new airport and building a new hangar or moving their hangars. So probably, I doubt that anybody's going to move their hangar because it's pretty expensive to do that, and most of them are, you know, metal hangars, and to take them apart and to try to move those, it's really not very practical.
Yeah.
But we're working on that with them and want it to be a smooth transition.
Yeah. Now, I've had questions, and of course I don't know the answer, but I'm sure you do. What will happen to the old airport, Hardwick Field?
Well, once the new airport is open, then we will, I guess, decommission Hardwick Field, and it will be sold. It'll either be sold at auction or by sealed bids according to the state surplus property rules. And then those funds will be used to fund the local portion of the airport.
Oh, I see. Speaking of funding, there has been, of course, concern about using taxpayers' dollars to build an airport for just a select group of citizens. But talk about the funding and what percentage of tax dollars actually come from Cleveland.
Well, we help a very, very small amount of tax dollars. That's what we want to use for the sale of the current airport, use that to provide the local share. The other funding is from the state and from the federal government. The bulk of it's from the federal government. It's block grant money that's sent to the state of Tennessee, and the Tennessee Aeronautics Commission decides how those funds are to be spent, amongst all the airports in the state. But the money that comes from that comes from tickets that you purchase when you fly on commercial airlines. There's a tax on those tickets that goes into that fund. There's a tax on aircraft fuel, just like your gasoline taxes on your cars. That goes into that fund. So the funds for airport construction and airport improvement goes into what's called the Airport Improvement Fund, and that's collected by the federal government, sent to the state, and the state divides those funds. And our funding is, for the biggest part of the airport, is at 90%. So our 10% will hopefully come from the sale of Hardwick Field.
The old airport. And that's prime property. It's on North Highway.
And last meeting we just started talking about how to sell that property and how to market that property. So because we certainly want to get the highest dollar we can.
Right, to put the money back into the airport.
Yeah, that's great. You mentioned the hangars a while ago. I'd like to go back and revisit that. The hangars, are they owned by the authority, by the airport, or are they owned by private?
There's a city-owned hangar there that's attached to the what's the terminal building now. But all the other hangars are owned by either individuals or companies, and they lease ground space, and then they build their own hangars. So we're still, our next meeting, which will be in a couple of weeks, well, a week from Friday, will be our next authority meeting, and we're having someone come in to talk to us about a business plan which will help us determine exactly how to handle the hangar space at the new airport.
Well, now, who will actually operate the airport? Is that something the authority will govern, or will you have an actual day-to-day operations person or people?
Well, right now we have what's called a fixed base operator who manages our airport. It's Crystal Air, and they manage the airport here. They also provide flight lessons and charter service, and they operate the fuel sales there. So we can have a fixed base operator at the new airport. The city could have an actual employee to run the airport and manage it, and then still have a fixed base operator there to offer services. And we haven't made that final determination, and that's part of the reason we want to get the business plan in and be able to determine what's going to be best for this new facility and best for the users of the airport as well as the city of Cleveland.
Now, Crystal Air, that's a familiar name. Don't they have a presence at Lovell Field in Chattanooga?
No, that's a different Crystal. Yeah, they have Crystal Air has their fixed base operators at Dalton, and then also provide some services at some of the other surrounding airports. Taylor Newman is the president of that company.
Also, I've gotten questions about whether or not the airport will be self-sustaining, self-sufficient, or whether the city will have to put tax dollars into the budget every year. What's your projection on that?
The city puts some money into it now, into the current airport. We think that with, we discussed earlier about the larger aircraft being based here, so there will be additional tax dollars for the city and the county that will be provided, and we hope that the airport can be self-sustaining. But even if it's not, if a little bit of tax dollars have to be spent, we think that because of the economic development and the positive influence that the airport will have on the community will far outweigh any expenditures.
Well, it sounds exciting, and it's going to be open hopefully in about 12 months.
Well, no, it'll be a little longer, but hopefully 18. But it's probably late fall of 2012 is what we're hoping.
Have you made any plans yet about a big grand opening and what's going to happen? Going to have a
no, we'll have one though. So.
Maybe get the
We'll
Blue
make sure
Angels.
you're there, Dan.
we want to get it built first, and then
it'd be a great place out there for an air show. And
oh yeah, we've had some contacts about that already.
Really?
Yeah.
So that would be fantastic,
Yeah.
and plenty of property, and be able to spread out a little bit.
That's right. We're excited, and we think it's going to be a tremendous asset for Cleveland and Bradley County.
Yeah.
Great service to the community.
Oh yeah, certainly.
Help businesses and all alike. So.
Yeah. Wow. Well, you certainly cleared up a lot of questions I had, Lou, and appreciate you coming in this morning, getting up early, and we didn't even serve him any coffee. I think we're out.
Had a couple of cups before I came. So.
Okay. We're out of time. I've just been given the signal we have to run this morning, but appreciate Lou coming in and bringing us up to date on the Airport Authority. Appreciate Kathy Bagley coming in and telling us about Summer Splash, and that's going on. Be sure to log on to that website for your child if they are going into first grade or through the fifth grade. They're eligible starting on Monday for Summer Splash. About 1,000 kids. Wow, that's going to be exciting. So that's going to do it for us. Have a great day. Glad you joined us, and we'll be back on Wednesday, a hump day, for another edition of Tennessee Valley This Morning. Thanks, Roxanne.
Thank you,
to see
Dan.
this morning.
Have a great
We'll
day.
see you tomorrow.